Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Oh, that always reminds me of what movie was that? I think it was the Jim Carrey movie. What was that? It's like if I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and good night. Why can't I remember the name of it? Anyways, hi everyone. That is actually killing me. Okay, I'm googling. Somebody's probably gonna remember before me, but oh no, there's a T in it. I just remembered a T. Hi Amelia. I'm just trying to remember a Jim Carrey movie. The Truman Show. Oh my gosh, I could not remember that. That's what it makes me think of whenever I say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Hi, Marcella. Hi, Stephanie. Good morning. Oh, hi, Sarah. Glad to see you. Oh, how's everybody been? Morning, Sam. Morning, Anne. I did another puzzle competition yesterday. That was very exciting. Hi, morning, Nadim. It did not go as well as the state competition did. So they just started this. So yesterday was the first one. They're doing over the year, they're doing 4 mini tournaments where at like 23 locations across the US are included in it. And they all do like the same speed puzzles. So I did the solo yesterday, then my friend and I did the pairs competition. And it was a lot of fun, but I got 11th place, which last time I got 8th at states when there was a lot more people. Although we don't know the results of like all of the locations. It'll take a while to bring all that data in. So I know that obviously I'm gonna go down further. But there'll also be a lot more people behind me. So I don't know, maybe that'll make me feel better about it. But then our pairs also got 11th, which is much better than we did at the state competitions. So that was really good because that was our second time competing together. And my friend's like second time competing ever. She's only done the pairs and she did the teams last time. Oh no, Sam caught COVID. That stinks. My parents just had it again. Well, I think it was their first time having it actually. I think that they went quite a while. I got it in, I want to say May of 2022 was when I first got it, and that's the only time I've had it. Knock on wood. Or touch wood if you're in England. I'm pretty sure that's the way that expression goes. I have so many books to read. The insanity is real. Yeah. It's a new month and I am forgetting how bad last month went. Actually, last week was great. So I think I streamed last weekend, right? And I was reading, well, I was reading the new spin book, but like my actual like focused book outside of that was The Will of the Many. Finished that, loved it, 5 stars. The ending, has anybody here read The Will of the Many? I need to talk to somebody about it. I am now like begging people in my life at this point to read this like 600-page book. And then I read My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I read The Fall of the House of the Usher, which is really short, and I really did just because I had read so few books last month that I was feeling bad. And then I also just finished Everything is Tuberculosis by John Green. So right at the end in that last week, I really tried to bring back up my reading. So I want to have stuff to talk about and like wrap ups and things. And I felt like I had nothing. So at least there's that now. But today is the start of a new month. So now we get to start the fun new stuff. Fell on Monday, concussion and black eye. Oh my gosh, Anne. Oh, I hope you're doing okay now. On Monday. Okay, so it's been some time, so hopefully you're seeing some healing. I hear that like black eyes go through like a very like long phases of healing where like the colors change like constantly and stuff. Haven't done any reading yet today because there's a car boot sale in my street. There's a DJ playing music and he just loves singing along and making bad jokes. I can't focus on any reading. I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me. I would not be able to focus either. That's intense. I don't think we've ever had, our equivalent is like garage sales here. I don't think I've ever seen a garage sale where there's been a DJ. But I guess for car boot sales, it's like many people that come together for it, right? We used to do that. I remember my middle school did that. Like it would have people come, but there would be like little booths, but your car would be right in front of it. So it was kind of like a car boot sale, but still no DJ. Yeah. Oh, so sad. Well done on the puzzling. So due to your video yesterday and you very kindly leaving your graphics. I think I'm doing, wait, I looked it up again. Herkid. That's how it's pronounced. I've been planning things this morning. I love it. Okay, I will say, there is a new, so Cordy, the channel that created this, because they're coming to the end, basically now. I think in like the next couple of days is technically the end of the original challenge, and I've just been taking it from like because I only just heard about it. But they are starting a new like version of it, so like version 2.0, which starts in July. So take that information, take with that what you will, because I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because I feel like I've like committed hard to doing the existing one, but also the announcement video comes out on Friday. Actually, Quarty just left a comment on my channel, or I just saw it anyway. So it was very exciting. But they said that there would be a new, that there would be the announcement video this Friday. So just in case. I assume a lot of this stuff is going to be kind of the same. I haven't decided yet how I'm gonna wait till Friday to see like what that is, but I have already been filming my like May version of the video that I just released yesterday. Oh, currently reading The Poisonwood Bible by Barbara Kingsolver. I saw that again in a bookstore yesterday. After we did the puzzle competition, we went out to eat, and it happened to be across the street from a bookstore in Colorado Springs called West Side Stories, which I've been following on my Instagram. So I had to go, obviously. And they had a lot of copies of the Poisonwood Bible. But I think I still got mine cheaper. So I'm still, whenever I go to a used bookstore and I see like books that I bought, I'm always like, oh no, could I have gotten a better deal here? But I happen to also get that one used, like specifically from a person. So it was okay. I finished the short stories. Nice. And now I feel hollow. Oh no. Oh, in Germany you say knocking on wood too. Interesting. I like that better than just touch. Touch is like, what? Okay. But I guess knocking is also, I guess it's your perspective of what you grew up with. Get well soon. Oh, I'm unwell too, but getting better. No idea if it's COVID. We're told not to test now. Interesting. Yeah, actually just found out that it sounds like boosters are going to be less available here in the US for, so if you haven't gotten one in a bit, like they're still technically available to everybody, but pretty soon it's going to be just people that are 60 or older or have like underlying issues. Not issues, there's a different better term for that, but and or technically you can pay like a ridiculous amount of money to still get a booster, which I don't think anybody's going to do, at least not anybody in my tax bracket. So but yeah, so I need to go get mine soon. They don't have a timeline for when it'll stop being available for us, but I need to go get that soon. I'm always so amazed when people never had COVID before. I think I got it at least every year. Yeah, we really locked down, us specifically, me and Curtis. But most, like, we were in Florida, things were crazy. Nobody was locking down there. Like it existed for like 2 weeks, and then like spring break happened and like all hell broke loose. So there was a lot going on. But yeah, we like really locked down for a long time. And it was my first trip that I went on. Actually, the first time we went out anywhere to like do something that wasn't like with people like in our bubble or like in very small gatherings, um, was I got the flu then, and I was like, I didn't even get COVID. I got the flu, like, which I had been also vaccinated for, but it was a different strain of flu because they like have to like guess at that one every year. Um, and then the first trip that I went on, it was for work too. It wasn't even for fun. I went on a work trip to Vegas and I caught COVID. Um, but I do have oddly fond memories of that time because that was when I first started watching Taskmaster and became obsessed. And all I watched was Taskmaster while I was getting better. Also, that was when I read Tomb of Sand, which was a great book. So I'm pretty sure that the brothers Gwyn have read The Will of the Many. Their channel is so good. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna have to look at their channel. Let me write it down. Okay, thank you. Thank you. This is necessary. I think there are a couple. I know Books and Lala read it. I know Gavin read it. I just don't know if they have like videos like talking about it. And that's what I need. I need somebody talking about the end. Yeah, I get well soon. Slept all day yesterday, mostly sneezy today. Ugh. Well, if you haven't already watched Taskmaster, that's what I recommend for COVID. Clearly not a doctor. Oh, reading the first volume of The Hunger Games, 100 pages in and digging it. Is this your first time reading it? That would be very exciting. Our wedding is June 14th, so praying my eye is healed. Oh my gosh. Oh, that would be so stressful, like seeing how much you've healed. Like you must like wake up every morning and be like, where are we looking today? Okay. I have my fingers crossed for you that it'll be better by then. Preferably much before that, so you don't even have to think about it. My 500 plus page book in a day will probably be Solenoid on a hot summer day. Nice. Yeah. I have Solenoid actually it's not on my TBR, like it's not on my owned TBR, but it's on my like wish list, unowned TBR, which I'm trying to be better about using instead of just buying every book that I see. I've also started a new thing to keep my TBR down. So now for every book that I want to put on my bookshelf, I have to read 2 books, or I think I want to do like where I have to spin a wheel, like, or get a random book from my bookshelf. And then I can just read 1 book instead of reading the 2 to replace, because then it like also gamifies it for me, which seems like fun. So if I read 2, it could be whatever 2 I want. If I spin the wheel, then it's like just whatever it says. And then of course I did buy 3 new books yesterday when we went to that bookstore, but in my defense, I knew I was gonna have to buy these at some point, and that it was from a used bookstore, so I got them cheaper. So I'm okay with it. But I found 3 of the books from which trilogy or which quartet actually is this? This is the Rain Wild Chronicles. I already had 1 book that I found at a used bookstore a while back, and then they had the other 3. These are the only Robin Hobb books I always check whenever I'm in a used bookstore, because I know that like eventually I'm going to read all of the Realm of the Elderling. So it's a really easy purchase and an easy way to support used bookstores if they do happen to have them. And that's how I've gotten a lot of my books. But recently for the Tawny Man trilogy, I've been needing to buy new because I haven't been able to find them anywhere. And in fact, I haven't been able to find anything past like what I had read in used bookstores until yesterday. So it was very exciting. Now I have that whole quartet, and I think I'm only missing 3 books total. 2 books from the last trilogy, 1 book from the trilogy I'm like doing now. Yeah, it's along our entire street. Started playing at 9 a.m. I think he already played Sweet Caroline about 5 times. It's definitely a vibe. That's hilarious. Oh, what a song. I decided against doing Here Kid. It's just too much even for me. Marcella just made me do Wonderthon, and that will be enough of craziness alongside all the other reading challenges I'm doing all year. Totally fair. It is insane that I'm doing it. Like, especially like I'm also doing the book bingo board from hell from win from Literary Diversions, which is easier though because like I set that up to be specific to me, like that you can do either what Win does, like what they do on their channel, or you can change it up a little bit and do your own thing. So I mostly did my own thing for that. So it's like it's easier. But I also the big book reading challenge, which I've just like I guess I just said at the beginning of the year and then entirely forget about it and hope that I read it by the end of the year. I should really pay attention to what I what I need to read for that one. But I think and then my 25 books in 2025 list, which I have said that I will unhaul the books if I don't read them. I'm pretty sure I said that. I kind of wish I hadn't, but it's probably for the best. I'm doing okay since 12 of the books were TBR spin books, so that helps a lot. And then I've been trying to read one other book from that list throughout the year. So, but I think those are all my year-long challenges. Good luck to everyone attempting here, Ken. You all are crazy. Yeah, agreed. Yay. Welcome to the Your Get train, Jenna. Or maybe you were on it before me. I am very late. I was impressed with your progress for Here, Ken. Sloppy fingers. It's okay. Sometimes when like sentences stop midway, I'm like, it's probably just a comment a little bit down. Especially whenever I have to do like an apostrophe in anything, sometimes I like slip and I hit the enter instead. That happens to me all the time, especially in like work chats. But yes, thank you. I was very happy with that too. Not as much progress in May, considering I didn't really read much in May, but I'll still make a video for it. And then it can also serve as like my wrap up because I'll just talk about like, that was kind of terrifying looking. There's a window up there. You probably know that. Sometimes my camera shows it. But yeah, then it'll at least also serve as a wrap up. Because I'll talk about all 5 books I read in May. Yes. Oh, maybe I could swap out a couple of prompts I like less for new ones from the 2.0. That is a great idea. Maybe I would do something like that. Like especially if it's ones that I haven't even started with anyway. I feel like that is a great idea. Oh, I finished My Friends yesterday because one of the prompts is to read a book in every month. I still can't say it. Read a new publish in the month that it's published every month. And my pick for May was My Friends. And I finished it yesterday and I was kind of stressing about it, but it was fine. It actually went faster than I thought. Yeah, I hope you get better soon. Oh, true. Hopefully makeup can help cover it up. I've been wearing my sunglasses. Yeah, that's a good idea. You're working in healthcare myself, so I'm not surprised COVID gets you every year. Oh, true. Very true. I always seem to get it just before I have my booster shot appointment. That's fun. I'm caught up on Taskmaster. Dang it. Need to start watching the International Taskmasters. My recommendation would be my favorite of the international ones, which we haven't watched all of them. Maybe we've only watched like 2 of them. So take this with a grain of salt. But the New Zealand Taskmaster, I feel like they did a good job, especially I think his name's Paul that does like the Alex role. I feel like he did a good job of like being a similar type of character, but doing it in a different way. So it's not like cut and paste, you know? So I like the New Zealand one. That's like my second favorite, I guess. I have so many other things to do today, but the only thing I want to do is reading. Yeah, same. I think I would do a graphic novel for 500 plus pages in a day. With youngish kids, this isn't really possible otherwise. Yeah, fair. I was my goal, I can't remember if I kept it in the clip, but my goal was to read that page in a day. But if I didn't, like if I couldn't get through it in that one day, then I would do it again a different day with a graphic novel, because I do have, I think, 2 graphic novels that are over 500 pages. So it would have been okay if I didn't do it, but I wanted to try that first just to see, and I had a relatively chill day. I did go out to lunch that day though, and when I got back from lunch, which was way after, like we were at lunch for a long time. It was like a birthday lunch for a friend. We were there for a long time, and it was hot pot, so like, oh, it was so good. It was so good. So much fun. Um, but when we got back, I was so full and I just wanted to take a nap and I knew that I had to keep reading. So I did like the audiobook for a little while to like get me back into it, and then I was like set. Didn't go to church today because I didn't want to explain it 50 times. Yeah. Oh, I hate that when there's like something like visibly like wrong or that like went wrong that like somebody can tell just looking at you and then they just like continually ask about it. Yes, or noise canceling headphones, maybe. I know. Now I'm like, maybe I should do Wonderthon. But I can't do like, actually, it's been 2 months since I committed to her kid. But or is it her? No, it's her kid. God, I hope I'm saying it right. Every year for the last couple of years, I started by promising myself I'll follow the read 2 buy 1 rule, and I'm yet to stick to it for the whole year. I always find too many tempting books. Yeah, I do have a backup now of 4 books that aren't technically on my shelves. One that I got from a little library and the 3 that I bought yesterday. Uh, and yeah, I just earned a spot yesterday by finishing Everything is Tuberculosis for a book that I got from a publisher that I wasn't expecting to get, but I do really want to read. It sounds really good. So yeah, I get it. But I would like to do, I don't know how feasible this is, and it might not happen, so don't hold me to this, but I think it'd be fun to do. The reason why I like the idea of the wheel is that if I got to like, where I have a few books on the backup that need to go on my shelves, then doing a video where I do the random wheel to read something from my TBR so that I can put those books on there. But yeah, hopefully just with the regular reading I do this month, I can get some of them on there. Wonderthon is just a 2-week readathon, so it's hosted by Lizzie's Literary Life. If you want to look for the announcement video, I might look at it this sprint. I might start my sprint by looking at that. Has it already started? The new release one is great for me because I never read new releases. Yes. I think for June, the new V.E. Schwab would be the new V.E. Schwab or Frederick Bachman. Yeah, so I did Frederick Bachman in My Friends doesn't come out until June. Is that right in the UK? It came out in May here. But also I kept getting the wrong date and I kept thinking that it came out in June. And I think that's why. Yeah, I'm thinking, actually, no, I think I'm going to be reading 2 releases for June, technically. My plan was the V.E. Schwab because I have the arc for that. But also this got delivered very recently. So this is actually what I'm planning on reading today. I'm going to start with reading a little bit of Dungeon Crawler Carl because we're doing the reading group that I'm in that did the Expanse series. We're now doing Dungeon Crawler Carl this month. So I'll be reading, I think, 3 chapters of that. And then I'm going to be getting into With a Vengeance. So technically this will actually be the book that does that prompt because I'll have read it before. But I am still planning on reading. It's on my TBR for the month, even though I'm not filming a video for it. Maybe during one of the breaks, I'll show you what my TBR is for the month since I'm not doing a video. Anyway, that could be fun. That was one of the reasons for not doing Herkyed, because I don't read a lot of new publications in general, and to have the time to read them in the same month would really stress me. Yeah, I don't even know. I feel like everything's going to fall apart as soon as the Booker Prize is announced, but we'll see. I want it to be fun and just to see what I tick off. I think if it's too much, I'll stop. I think I'm crazy considering it. I honestly feel the same way. Like I oddly don't feel that much pressure because I think it'll just be fun either way. Like I'm obviously gonna try, but like, and I think I love videos about like accomplishing goals and things like that. But hold on, I'm gonna close my door real quick. Okay, Curtis is up and I can tell he wants to make coffee because he started the kettle. And so that means the coffee grinder is happening. He tries to wait until I'm done talking, but uh, he's probably had to wait a little extra today. But yeah, I think it'll just be like uh, a fun thing to like try out, especially the ones that like get me to read the books that are on my bookshelf. I think that's fun. There's quite a few things that are like different releases that I wouldn't have purchased otherwise. From small author tubers. I don't follow any author tubers. So if you have any recommendations, please do let me know. But yeah, there's a couple that like I think I would need to get new stuff for. But I like the idea of seeing what's on the 2.0 and then kind of like supplementing. Um, in what makes sense. And then maybe by the time 3 comes around, I'll like fully commit to just one board and actually complete it. But we'll see. What do you mean by Wonderthon is only 2 weeks? I feel it. I already lost track with all the rules. Okay, I'm very excited to look this up during the sprint. If anyone is interested in the new S.A. Cosby book, King of Ashes, it's released June 10th. I've read all of his previous books. Okay, nice. That's another good one for June. I do love reading a book in the month that it's released. That is like, I think, my favorite part. Membership to Book of the Month or Aardvark might help with the freshly published reads. I just like seeing freshly. When I read a book and it has freshly in it, I'm like, oh. I feel like more of a connection even with the word freshly, even though it's a different spelling to my last name. Yeah, I do want to look into Aardvark too. I feel like more booktubers have been talking about it lately. I could not deal with that kind of chaos for any longer. Yes, Thundercrawler Carl. So excited reading it. Yes, I am also very, very excited. I'm reading my June TBR spin, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Loving it so far. Awesome. Yay. AuthorTube. Oh, good. Katie Lumsden. I already own both of her books and really want to read them. Okay, nice. Yes, and a good rec for another one published this month. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start looking into the next few months too, because I'm getting to the end of what I like looked into for new releases coming out this year. I'm a chaos demon and am in the middle of 6 different reading challenges. It's too hard to say no. Like, I feel like I'm already that type of person in real life that like I have a hard time saying no because it's FOMO. And I've gotten better about that in real life. Haven't gotten better about that about books or reading challenges. But if anything, I feel like that's okay. I think I'll still sit out of her kid, or at least the full board. Yeah, fair. I think I saw somebody commented that they're gonna do it, but they're not gonna limit it to a year, which I also really like. They're hard not to read. They are not hard to read. You're hard not to read. That doesn't. I guess it kind of makes sense, but in a different way. It is hard to say no. Yeah, it's so difficult. I have to read 2 short stories by Anne Segers, maybe, for my book club tomorrow. So I'll start with these. Nice. Dipping into Wild Dark Shore for today's sprints, but I've got my June spin book here too. Yeah, I am fully just my June spin book's on hold. The help is on hold. It's not the help's fault. It's the fault of a very exciting June TBR. So I'll get back to it. I do have the audiobook, so I might end up doing just that. But I think, yeah, I'm too excited about the other books I'm going to be reading. Okay, but let's go ahead and start with a reading sprint. Fair warning, I'm going to ask everybody else what they're reading at the next break. I usually ask earlier, but we've already been chatting for so long that I feel like we can save that for the first break. So we can go ahead and get started. Okay, and we want that there. Okay, happy reading, everyone. Okay, finish up the first reading sprint. How did everybody do? I looked up Wonderthon. It does look like fun. I'm still trying to read The Lilac People by Milo Todd. Hopefully you made some good progress. I have the same problems there. Lately, someone added me on Storygraph and was shocked by the amount of challenges I'm doing. And I'm always adding more because of readathons all throughout the year. Yeah, it's hard to say no to, especially when there's ones that like kind of prioritize reading your own TBR. Those are the ones that always get me. It is fun. Luckily we still have a couple days until it actually happens. I didn't look through like all of the prompts, but I liked the point system. I feel like I'm gonna be reading a lot of fantasy, so because you have to like join your little team. But I do have a couple like literary slash general fiction on there. So I don't know. I don't even know what I would join. Ugh. Zuko is being very needy right now. He's just, whenever I'm not petting him, he just meows at me. I keep making my own challenges. I just like completing lists. Fair. After absolutely slogging my way through my book club book and then ironically not being able to go as unwell. Oh, it feels so good to be reading Abby Jimenez, which I'm loving. So fun. Yeah, this is so readable already, and it feels really good to be reading a book that's really readable. I have like 2 pages left in what I'm supposed to read for it today, so then I'll move on. Read over 30 pages. This book makes me feel chilly. That's impressive too for the summertime. I like Wonderthon because it's basically like playing a game with a bunch of people and you earn points by reading books. I know I do. I've never joined one of like the readathons that has like a point system where it's different teams, but that does seem fun. Yeah, he's being a real sweetie. It's his time. After lunch or after breakfast before lunch is when he is the most snuggly and like persistently needing attention. Be careful. Marcellus is going to lure you in. It's very possibly going to happen. It's very possibly working. I read about 20 pages in The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. The DJ has packed up his booth. Yay! Oh, how are you liking The Color of Magic? That's the first book, right? In the Discworld series. I think I tried it, but I didn't try that hard because I was already behind on there was like a big reading challenge that was going through. Actually, that was also Win for Literary Diversions. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to catch up. And they were doing 2 books a month. And I was like, I can't make 2 of the books I read every month from this series. So I just kind of gave up. Me too. I do my own bingo board every January. That's why I like Win's challenge so much, because you can like edit it to work for you. Yes, it is pure fun. Like immediately you're just in it and it's such a great time. I'm gonna have a hard time only reading the amount that we're supposed to read. I might ask if we extend it to maybe like 4 chapters instead of 3 chapters, but today's the first day, so we're just kind of like trying out to figure out what a good reading pace is, because it's like different every book, you know. Which cat is sitting on the windowsill? They're so pretty. That is I'm so bad at pointing behind me. That's Klaus. Yeah, he's probably our prettiest boy. Don't tell the others. And then we have Scout, old lady Scout, on the bed here. And actually, it's funny because they say in the book that the cat that's in it is a tortoiseshell cat, like the coloring, and that's what Scout is, where it's like mostly black, but it's got like these like lighter tan colors too. Of course, the cat in the book though is a Persian cat, so I imagine being much fluffier than Scout. And then of course Zuko, who is being absolutely ridiculous. He's being so cute. I like actually can't take it. Okay, now he's trying to eat my hair. He's always there to remind you who he actually is. Okay. It's a reread for me, but I'm reading the Dutch translation, which unfortunately doesn't completely capture the humor of the original. Yeah, true. I feel like humor's got to be one of the hardest things to translate. I finished my short stories for book club. Now I'm going to continue with Two Trees Make a Forest, which was the May book for Reading the Globe, and I'm obviously behind. All of the reading challenges that are like around the world related, those ones are so tempting to me. The problem is though, I would not be able to read for my TBR like at all. So I think that I need to get that down before I'm doing any reading challenges that are like pulling from outside of it. If I could just like get it down to under 100, I think then I could like partake in those. I found with the Discworld series that you need to read a couple to get into them, and some of the miniseries within the world are better than others. I've read them all, but don't remember most of them. Fair. That makes sense. There's a lot of them. There's a lot. It is one of those series that I'm like, oh, one day I might read, but I don't own any of them or anything, so it'll probably still be quite a while. I have a lot of one day series. The Wheel of Time is a one day series, which I have a few of the books from actually. That's another one that I like collect through used bookstores just in the background. And there's one more. It's a Brandon Sanderson series. I can't remember which one it is now. I don't remember. But one of the books is the Bands of Mourning and the Shadow of Self, whatever those are from. I've been those ones I got from my little library, so now I'm like, okay, I could like kind of collect those, but I might not actually like purchase them from used bookstores until I get to actually try starting it. I'm so envious of the cat cuddles. Mine are getting a tiny bit braver, but not up for much human contact. Yeah, actually, Klaus is trying a difficult maneuver getting around Scout. He made it. Scout was like near feral when I got her. So she took a long time to warm up. And especially to get like cuddly and to be okay being held. She was okay being held when we went to like the pet store originally, and I held her then. She was like 2 years old. Or they guessed she was 2 years old. And I met her on my 19th birthday. And then I went back the next day and adopted her. But yeah, she was okay with being held there, but I think she was just so starved for like any sort of attention from any living being. But then when I brought her home, she was like not about people at all. But now she's a very, very cuddly cat, and is like constantly around me. And then Zuko's probably, well, he's independent in a lot of ways, but I think because we found him as a kitten on the street and he was younger than you can even adopt a kitten, he's the most like okay with being like repositioned and like held like a baby. Like any sort of attention he's on board for, even negative attention. He just wants it all. And then Klaus is like, sometimes he super wants attention, sometimes he super doesn't. And he usually seeks it out from Curtis, whereas the other two usually seek it out from me. Oh, we're talking about you. He's like, I just want to sleep. What are you doing? Okay. There we go. He's in his cat bed on the desk. And I am covered in fur. It's like all over me. Although the Dutch translation did get Pratchett's stamp of approval. Oh, and the translator was in close contact with Pratchett during the process. That's really cool. That's good to hear. I'm taking a step out of my usual today with some nonfiction. I'm reading The Let Them Theory. Yeah, I've heard good things about that one. I know like the general premise, but yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. It was nice to read Everything is Ridiculous and do a nonfiction because it had been a minute. And now I think that I'm going to get back into like reading a little bit of a nonfiction in the morning. Actually, it'll probably be after Dungeon Crawler Carl though, because I already have a book that I have to read a little bit of every day. I don't want to have like multiple books that I'm reading a little bit of every day. I think it's about as good as it gets. Yeah. There's always going to be like hard things to come across. I've read 76 books so far, and only 15 have been from my TBR for the year. Oh my gosh. Well, you did International Booker. So there's that. I don't, yeah, that I would be interested to see how many I've read for my TBR. I feel like most of them have been for my TBR. I think, but maybe that's not true. I don't know. That gives me a lot of hope. Scout Minor Feral too. Yeah, she was living on the streets and then was found, taken in. And I think they saw enough in her that she could be socialized. But yeah, she's like such a loving cat now. And even with new people, like she for way longer than I thought, she continued to get better. Because I kind of thought that like the best I could hope for her was to be like cool with me. But when she met Curtis, like it took a little bit of time, but not much. And she warmed up to him pretty quickly, which was good because she was much better around women in general than men. But like even in the past couple of years, she still gets better with like company that comes over and stuff like that. She's more willing to like hang out around them and everything, which Klaus isn't even willing to do. I use the tags on Storygraph to see how many I read from my TBR. So does this only count if they were like from your TBR before the start of the year, or do you count books that you purchased in the year so they like entered onto your TBR and then you read them as well? Yeah, I think I only used the tags to do books in a series because I thought that that could be a good way to track. And then actually I kind of forgot that I did that until just now. I wonder if that would have been a good way to track. I'm at 80 and none of them have been from my TBR. Wow. Well, how big is your TBR? If it's only like a couple books, then that makes sense. I think I'm only at like, I don't know. I'm not at as many as you all are for books read this year. I keep a spreadsheet of my entire TBR. I do too. And I have a different tab for the ones that I've read and another for unhauled DNF'd. I love a spreadsheet. Yeah, same. I have a spreadsheet and then I do a little sections for monthly, which includes the books I read, how I got them to begin with, like, or actually, no, I guess that would be for any books I haul, how I got them. So either through the Literal Library, publisher, or purchased. Every once in a while, like maybe a gift. But those are the three main ways that I get books. And then for the ones that I read, did I read them from my TBR or were they from the library? That kind of a thing. And I do really enjoy that spreadsheet. But I haven't really, because it's like kind of separated out so much by month, I haven't really like looked at it as far as how many books I read from my TBR. I guess I could actually look at that. I feel like I should have it open, but I guess I don't. I usually have the spreadsheet just open at all times. Okay, let's see. In January, I read 6 for my TBR, February 6 for my TBR, March 10 for my TBR. I forgot how much I read in March. April 7 for my TBR, and May 2 for my TBR. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. And I've read 40 books so far this year. So yeah, most of mine have been for my TBR. That makes sense. I consider all the books I own to be on my TBR whenever I bought them. Okay, that makes sense. Wow, you have read a lot of books not on your TBR. Storygraph is 820 and my physical TBR is 120. Wow, none have been from your TBR. Are these books that you do want to like? What is it like? Library books or like book clubs that come up or new books that come out? I'm so curious. I'm not going to put pressure on myself to read for my TBR because it will affect my enjoyment. I'm excited for all of them though. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's my thing. I'm excited for a lot of the books that are on my TBR, but because they're just there, then I like lose excitement for them. That's a me problem, I think. I mean, I think it's several people have that same problem. I don't think I'm unique in that, but I don't think everybody has that. But yeah, there's a ton of books that I'm like so excited to read on there. But then I see new books and I just like want those. But I would love to have just like a smaller TBR so that like when I buy new books, it's like just fun to be able to read them right away or to like read them, you know, within like 2 months of getting them and things like that. I have a spreadsheet too, and I use Notion on top of Storygraph. I do too. I have Storygraph, Notion, and a spreadsheet. It's just too fun to track books. I do technically have like a written out thing too, but that's specifically for the book bingo board from hell. That's how I track that. But I write down every book on it and like which squares it completes. I don't know why I started doing that physically, but it just sounded fun, and that's how I've been doing it. Okay, 19 of the 35 books that you've read have been from your TBR. Nice. I'm at 17 of 40 now. Would like it to be around half. Very close then. That's good. I have no room for a second bookshelf, so I have to keep my physical TBR small. Yeah. I'm starting to run out of room. But also I do like to keep all the books that I've read. If I like own them, like I didn't get them from the library or something, I like to keep all the books that I read in the year so that I can do like a nice fun wrap up at the end. And also it's very motivating to look and be like, oh, I read all that. I like read all those pages. In like this year. So unless like I'm giving a book to a friend or something to like let them borrow it or just giving it to them for them to read it, then I try to keep them. But then obviously that does take up some bookshelf space. But I still have more space than I currently need for books because when I moved, I got like 2 new bookshelves that are much larger than the bookshelves that I got that I had in Florida. Those bookshelves were really skinny, really tiny. So I'm still like doing okay on space. There's still like 2.5 shelves that I'm not really using. Like they have other stuff on them, like puzzles and stuff, but I could use them for books when the time comes. Notion, Storygraph, Notes app, a spread in my journal of books read, and all of my owned books in a separate spread. Yeah, it's tracking books is almost as fun as reading books sometimes. And also when I like go through and update everything, I get like remotivated to read. So it does kind of help with the actual reading aspect too. I completely blame readathons and the library for not being able to bring my TBR down. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. I do love using the library, but I do think I tend to buy books instead of I'm trying to fix that. Like if I'm excited about a new release, but I don't know if I'll want to keep it, like to get it from the library instead of like adding it to my TBR and reading it that way because it's expensive. And it's not necessary, and I can support the library even more, which would be my ideal. Oh, all of my books have been library books. It's a good exercise in patience. Yeah. Oh, there is something about like putting in a loan for something that you're really excited about, but has a super long wait list. And then when it comes out, like when it's ready, it's like, oh, it's so exciting. My problem is once I buy books, I feel like I have forever to read them. So I prioritize library books and my own TBR never gets read. Yeah, I do that. A good thing to do is if you like to have like an audiobook and the physical book, I do this if I'm like, oh, I really got to read this book on my TBR, I'll put in a loan for the audiobook from the library. And then when it comes up and then it starts to run out, like I'm getting close to when I would no longer have access to the audiobook, then it's more like, oh, I want to read this book now because I want to be able to switch back and forth between them. So that's something that sometimes helps trick my brain. It doesn't always, because sometimes I'm still like, well, technically I could finish it by just reading it physically. So I don't need the audiobook, but sometimes it helps. Yeah, everything else seems so timely. Like Booker books, I'm gonna read those during Booker season. Like, I'm not gonna wait and read them later, while I read my TBR. That's crazy. Okay. I did promise my TBR, but let's do another sprint and then we can talk through my June TBR. And also I'm excited to get back into this, and I'm really excited to start with A Vengeance. Oh, the Brooklyn Public Library's holds are notoriously long. I have a whole system for this that involves 4 different library cards and interlibrary loans as well. Home-based library loans, as well as home-based library loans. That's really great. I still have my library card from my library in, Florida, so that's still going, but I think I only have, like, maybe another year on that before it runs out, or before I would have had to, like, go in person. Luckily, I did that not long before we moved, so I, like, was able to reset the time frame on that, but I did find out that I think the Boulder library, I can get a library card without living in specifically Boulder, just as long as I live in Colorado. There's, like, a lot of libraries around here that I can get a card for just by having a Colorado state driver's license. The Denver, like, public library, the, like, downtown location. So I actually have, like, a virtual version of that, but you can't use Libby until you go in person, so I need to do that. Um, but yeah, I I need to, like, collect library cards for around here. I have a friend that lives here that has done that too. And hopefully then I don't have to figure it out quite so much. Alrighty, another 40 minutes. Happy reading. Okay. Another sprint done. I finished the tiny bit I had left to read in Danger Crawler Carl. I already just want to read it so much. Like I just want to like read through the whole thing. I think it's going to be really hard to be a book that like I only read a little bit of each day. And then I started with A Vengeance, and I'm already getting sucked into it, which is great news because I did not have the best time reading the last Riley Sager book, Middle of the Night. It was just kind of okay for me. But this one I'm already more intrigued by. We're basically just meeting the people that are on the train. Anna Matheson is like our protagonist, and has invited all these people on the train, and you just like basically know she's got some type of plot because like all these people have like destroyed her family, I think is the way that it's put, or torn her family apart, something like that. And so you don't know exactly what had happened, but you know, like her dad had owned the train line that they're on, and that like something about these 6 people, like they have something to do with it. And you know that one person is going to die. There's like a prologue. So one person dies, and that is not a part of the plan, and like that's all you know going into it. I'm pretty sure I didn't read the full synopsis as per usual. So but right now we're kind of like getting to know each of the people and what like little glimpses of what possibly shady things they did in the past. I pay for access to Fairfax County and Houston. Very good Libby accounts. Ooh, I didn't know you could pay for access to different libraries. I'll have to look into that. My library loans are only for 3 weeks, and you can extend them twice, but only if nobody else is waiting for the book. So the pressure is high. Yeah, I think that's the same as ours. Yeah, 21 days. So it's 3 weeks. So both my libraries are that way as well. Hi, Kieran. Welcome. Also going to say hi from you to Rushdie. That is so weird to think about. Please do. Oh, I can't wait to hear about it. Finished a cup of coffee and read 21 pages. Nice. Got through 10 pages. I got chatty with family. That's fair. Yeah, I think I made it like 30 pages into With a Vengeance, and then like I did 2 pages of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I dipped out briefly to see the BookTube prize results. Oh, who won? How did it go? Was that the end, or was that just like one of the? I have not been keeping track of it at all this year. I just realized that to look this up, I'd probably have to look at the video. And I don't really want to do that while I'm... Okay, I see the semifinalists. Okay, so I think that's what was picked. Oh, I'm reading 2 of these books this month are on my TBR. Oh, The God of the Woods. I almost bought that yesterday too, but again, I was like, I need to stop. There Are Rivers in the Sky. James. I do really want to read James, but I already own another Percival Everett that I haven't read yet, so I kind of want to read that one first. Our Evenings, Behind You Is the Sea, My Friends. Different My Friends than the Frederick Bachman book. And what's on the nonfiction? Not that I really know. Oh, The Bookshop. I know The Bookshop. Knife, of course. There's Always This Year. I have that one by Hanifa Durabkib. Okay. Looks like a good list. Really enjoying The Lilac People. Nice. I try to read Pride books in June. Yeah, actually, I didn't think about that when I was putting together my list. I read more queer books last month than I think I'll be reading this month. Maybe I should change that. No, like I do have other books that I could be reading from my list. Okay, but we are gonna talk about my TBR. I got 25 pages into 24/7. That's great. Quarterfinal results and setup for semifinal. Okay, got it. I need to check that out. BookTube prize, or one of the many books. Hanif is amazing. Yes, my first 5-star from this year was Little Devil in America, and so I'm really excited to read. There's Always This Year. I did the BookTube prize for 3 years and it was fun, but it is a bit too US focused for my taste. It is very, very US focused. That is a good point. Yeah, I can't remember how the books are collected, but I think that it comes from people's input. And so I don't know if that's why it's so US focused, if there's just like more US booktubers, but I don't feel like there is. I feel like I at least follow an equal amount of US to like UK and then like a couple of Australian booktubers. Actually, I might follow more UK booktubers than I do US booktubers now that I'm thinking about it. And Canada. I follow a few from Canada. Anyways, my TBR for this month, although I'm starting to think I might switch one of them out as I'm talking through this. I'll say what it is when I get to it. Because I would like to read at least one book for Pride Month. Like, geez Louise. So obviously we know these two that I've been working on in this are a part of the TBR. And then additionally, we have, I think I might have talked about both of these last month. I know I talked about Fool's Errand, that I was planning on reading Fool's Errand last month. I didn't. So now I'm planning on reading it this month. I'm very excited about it though, because I just can't wait to start another of the trilogies from Robin Hobb. I feel like it's been too long since I was in the last one now. And then Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher. This is the first book of a quartet by T. Kingfisher. I don't really know what it's about, like at all. But Win from Literary Diversions is also doing a read along for her patrons for this one. And so I joined her Patreon so I could take part. And because it's a 4-book series, that would be good for the Her Kid challenge. Because one of the things is to read a 4 or more book series within the year. So this would work for that. Although I think that technically I'll also read one from the Realm of the Elderling universe within the time frame I'm now realizing. But oh well. And then we have the Tao of Pooh. I think that this was on not my last month's TBR, but the month before, and I just didn't get to it. And so I think this will be, once I finish Dungeon Crawler Carl, this will be like read a little bit a day, like I like to do with my nonfictions. This is the one I think that I'll swap out. What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, because I'm already reading a T. Kingfisher this month. But I did just read The Fall of the House of Usher, which is what this book is based off of. Like it's a reimagining of that story. So I think that it would be good to read it this month, but I might switch it out for In the Dream House by Carmen Maria Machado, which also helps with the challenge, with one of the squares from the main challenge. And it would be good for Pride Month. Obviously, The Help. This is my TBR spin book for this month. I'm still at exactly where I was at the end of our sprint at the end of the live show from last weekend. But I plan on reading that one. And then lastly, Murder. I plan on reading. And there's another one, but I'm excited about this one. And bury our bones in the midnight soil. Is that what it's called? That doesn't sound right. Bury our bones. What is the... Yeah, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. I don't know why. It's because B.D. Schwab and Ashley Winstead came out with very similar... so Ashley Winstead's book from this year was This Book Will Bury Me. And her book from last year was something about midnight. It had midnight in the title. And now I keep thinking that I'm saying the wrong title when I talk about V. Schwab's book because it sounds like an amalgamation of Ashley Winstead's last 2 books that she published. But yeah, those are the those are the goals. Same, and I couldn't get a hold of most of the books. Oh, so I had to get new hardbacks. Oh, so I had to pay like 150 to 200 euros to get 6 books. So that's the main reason I stopped doing that. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Oh, I didn't think about that. There should be like I mean, obviously this is too much to put on because this is like mostly run by one person. But if there was like a team and like we could make like an ideal version of this, I feel like there should be a way to say like where you live so that like the books that you end up getting assigned to or like the group that you end up getting assigned to at the beginning is like more focused on that. And also obviously it'd be great to just have more non-US based books. Oh, yes, please give the sprint a like. That really helps. I really enjoy doing these. So if they could get to be like larger, because it really does like nothing for my channel except like it helps me and the people that come to this, I think. So I think that the likes will help. Didn't make any progress in the last sprint because I was chatting with a friend. That's good too. I did the BookTube prize once. I like a lot of literary books, but there were too many bestsellers for me. Yeah, I did it, and it was nice because I read Marlon James, which was good because I'd been meaning to read him for a while. And what else did I read for that? Oh, I read my only Ali Smith, which I did not like. I do think it was a weird one to start with. I know I read Horse by Geraldine Brooks. I don't remember the other books that I read though. There's also a reason for me to stop. And Gibson, people mainly voted for commercial fiction. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of commercial fiction on there. I did ask Robert if I could read the Dutch translation of books, but he didn't think that that was fair. Oh, I feel like that's okay. I mean, if it was like specifically a prize dedicated to like translated book, like International Booker is like about the translated version of those books, like translated to English version of those books. So like that I get. But like for this, I don't think I feel like it's more about the writing itself. And like so it would be okay. Like it's more about the story. I don't know. I had to read a Colleen Hoover book. Oh my gosh. I would be so upset if I had to read Colleen Hoover. I'm so sorry for any Colleen Hoover fans. I know it's probably like super readable and fun. So like I get it. I read a lot of books that are just fun and readable, but like I don't think I could do Colleen Hoover. I've read BookTube Prize for several years, and I do avoid fiction, especially nonfiction. Doesn't seem to collect enough readers. Oh yeah. I do feel like I wouldn't mind trying again and doing the nonfiction. I think that could be a fun way to like make sure that I'm reading more nonfiction. I asked for some small changes once too, and the reaction wasn't great either. I feel like he just needs more help. And then he could maybe be more open to like new ideas. But I guess it is probably a big undertaking. I'm reading fiction next round. It's not so bad though. What are your books? What did you get on your list? Because that's what you just found out, right? Was which books you have to read for the quarterfinals? Is it still 6 books? Like, is it 6 books every time? I only participated in the first round when I did it. The A group. Okay, I can look this up. I think, does he still put it on the website or is it just like through the video? I'm pulling up the A group so we can all see what Sam's reading. Okay. Oh, that's for nonfiction. I was like, these don't seem right. Oh, reading Intermezzo. James by Percival Everett. Our Evenings by Alan Hollinghurst. I don't really know that one. Caledonian Road. I don't know. The Mighty Red by Louise Erdrich. She's the one that wrote. What was that book? The Sentence? No, that was somebody else around the same time. Or was that the book? I don't know. I think I read something by her. I just can't remember. And There Are Rivers in the Sky. Okay. Not a bad list. Have you read any of them yet? I know you can't tell us what you think of them, so you don't have to do that. But I did nonfiction too, but that was even more US centered. Oh, I'm sure. I never hear about like just regularly, I never hear about nonfiction books that are from outside of the US unless they're memoirs. But I feel like outside of that, I don't have a lot of visibility into that. It's tough. There needs to be a good like YouTube channel that is very good at like getting books from all over and talking about them. I've read 3 already. Oh, nice. Awesome. I had you on pause while I had dinner, so I'll catch up on the chat now. Sounds good. Okay, on the website. Oh yeah, I ended up using the YouTube video because I knew I could find it faster. Okay, yay, it was The Sentence. I don't know why I thought that was called something else. I think because when I think of The Sentence, I think of a different cover than the cover that I read. The cover of the one that I read, if that makes sense. But I did read that one. It was kind of just like okay for me. I think I read too many books about the same thing that like around the same time, and I preferred the other books that I read to that one. Wait, I'm looking at a different group A, I think. The one that you might have been looking at the nonfiction, but I think, Sam, you're reading fiction for this round. So yeah, I should have pulled it up on my screen so that I could show you all, but I believe that is the group. Is that right? Okay, Klaus. All right. He's trying to walk all over my keyboard. Okay. I'm still thinking about the Pride book things. Now I'm totally second guessing what my TBR is. There's a few that I can't change, but there's a few that I definitely can. I still have Wolfsong because I didn't end up reading Wolfsong last month, even though that was on my TBR, so I could read that. I could read Middlesex for an intersex book. That would be good. I feel like everybody kind of forgets about that too for LGBTQIA. I'm also thinking about getting Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, which I believe has ace representation. I think that it's at my local used bookstore. And also I saw it recommended on a very small booktube channel. So I'll be talking about that channel no matter what in whatever video I make. I might just do all of the books that are recommendations from small booktubers at the same time, which is one of the squares on the Herked challenge. And so I've already been like looking into a few different channels, some of the channels that are here in this chat. But I thought it could be fun to like use that as also a helping towards the queer rainbow square, because I definitely like need Rex for the ace books specifically. And so I found that. So I thought that would be good. Oh, I read the quarterfinal. And those are the results? Okay, I see. Well, what can you do? Maybe it would have been easier to go to the website. Okay, quarterfinal. I read. My brain is having a hard time, and you are not helping. Not you. I'm talking about class. Okay. Okay. Is your group James Wandering Stars, Long Island, Glorious Exploits, Our Evenings, and My Friends? Is that what it is? That seems right. That seems more right. Oh, her backlist is better than her newer ones. That's good to know. I'm currently reading Glyph by Ali Smith, and I'm really hooked so far. Nice. The one that I read that I didn't love was didn't llove was that was a really positive way to put that. I really didn't like it. Was Companion Piece, but I could be convinced to read another book by her. I just think that because I think Companion Piece was also like from a collection of books. I don't know if it was considered a series, but like um something along those lines. And I only read that one, and it was just like I don't know. It felt like she was just having fun with word games throughout the whole book. And I was like, what is this? I'm not getting anything out of this. My friend, Our Evenings, Glorious Experts, James Wandering Star in Long Island. Okay, I found the right list. I wanted Wandering Stars to win the Pulitzer. Yeah, that's the one that I have on my TBR. I thought that I had it on my TBR for this month. I don't. I don't know why I thought that. But the two that I thought that I had on my list was Martyr and that one. But Wandering Stars, I'm not planning on reading quite yet, but I will be this year. Oh, good. It's good to know that you loved Middlesex. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. Ace by Angela Chen. Okay. Thank you. I know I need these recs. Also, I feel like I don't have a lot of lesbian book recs. Like I know a lot that are bi and gay, like male, but not a lot of woman. So if you have those recommendations too, that would be great. Those been like 20 years since I read Middlesex. Yeah, I technically started that one because it was a book club book, but then I couldn't make it to the book club, and then it was like, oh, I have so many other books to read, so it was one of those situations. Ooh, new library loan just came through Libby, and now I immediately want to jump on it. Do you know that feeling? Yes, absolutely, I know that feeling. Just happened to me. I just got Keith McNally's I Regret Almost Nothing. Ooh, Ali Smith is a goat. Okay, maybe I do need to read something else by her besides Companion Piece. Middlesex is on my 2025 TBR. I've owned a copy for so long. Okay, but maybe we can both read it then. We can both finally get to it. Companion Piece only makes sense to read if you've read this seasonal quartet. See, I think that I did look that up and I knew that, but because it was for the Booktube Prize and already for Marlon James, I was reading because it was his duology. It was the second book in his duology, which everybody said you could just read the second one. But like, I don't know. I knew that I wanted to read the first one anyway. So I read both of them. But then because of that, I couldn't also read a full like quartet and then read Companion Piece. So I only read Companion Piece. And it was confusing as hell. So that might be a me problem. I need to read Middlesex. Yes, it sounds like quite a few of us need to read it. Credit Seasons Quartet. I found Companion Piece quite an unnecessary addition to the quartet and the weakest of them all. Okay, that's good to know too. Because I was like, even if I don't know, if it felt so weird. That's one of the weirder books that I've read, and not even weird in the sense like I've read weird books like with weird premises, but that felt weird in like a why did this need to be written type of way. Ruby Fruit Jungle by Rita Mae Brown, Carol by Patricia. Oh, Patricia Highsmith has one. The Color Purple. I own The Color Purple, and that's on my 25 books to read in 2025. Thank you very much. I think you just solved this for me. Contours by Cara de Robertis. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up all of these, but it's probably gonna be The Color Purple. Just saying. That is actually so super helpful. But be warned, sir, the style of companion pieces and the quartet is the same. Okay, good to know. Maybe eventually I'll get there. Maybe I'll do like a second chance authors video. That could be fun. And I feel like she should definitely be a part of that. Because I feel like there's a couple, her, Sally Rooney, I feel like I should give another chance. And I know there's others, but I just can't think of them. Maybe we could do a thriller and do Rachel Hawkins. I really didn't like the one book I read by her. I have The Price of Salt by Patricia Highsmith. It was first published as Carol. Oh, that was one of the books that Marcella mentioned. Okay, nice. Yeah, I've really wanted to read a book by Patricia Highsmith, so that works really well. Although there's another one that's of hers that's been on my list for a while. Which one was it? Deepwater. I really wanted to read. And technically, The Talented Mr. Ripley, I think, is on my book bucket list poster. So that one also eventually, but Deepwater, I think that Jill from the Book Bully read it, and I believe she even said, like, specifically, I think you'd like it, which is why it's on my list. Okay, so we're gonna do, I think, just one more sprint for today. I am going to finish up my chapter that I'm on already of With a Vengeance, and then I think I'm gonna try to get some editing done just so that, like, I'm in a good spot. Sometimes I just need to start it. So I don't know if she still does, but Alice Walker was defending J.K. Rowling a couple years ago. Of course. So annoying. Sometimes it's so annoying. I probably will still read The Color Purple because it's The Color Purple. And it just feels like one of those. Also, it's on the book bucket list poster. Also, I really want to see the play. So I probably will still read that one. But that is good to know. It is good to know those things about it. Ooh, Blackwater Lightship. I have another book by him that I just found, Brooklyn, in a little library. I don't know anything about it, but I picked it up because it was by him, and I haven't read from him yet. Is it Colm Toibin? I don't know how it would be pronounced, but I know from Dairy Girls that the first name is Colm. Okay, but another 40 minutes. We'll go ahead and get started. Okay, my Mac sounds like it's like about to take off. But I got some good editing done. How did everybody else do? I also didn't realize I only had like a page left of the chapter that I was actively on. Tobin. Call him Tobin. Got it. There are a couple of reading challenges for lesbian themed books on Storygraph from which you get some good recommendations. Oh, that's a good idea. Also, it is nice having the her kid, like, there is a Storygraph version of the challenge. So I definitely think I'm going to use that, especially for, there's like a writing competition that's on there that I had never heard of. So I definitely need help picking books from those. And I'll probably be using the Storygraph for that. But yeah, I didn't even think about like going outside of that to like other, there's so many reading challenges on Storygraph that you could just see. The Lilac People is historical fiction about the gay community in Germany before, during, and after World War II. Oh, I don't think I realized that. Oh, that sounds really good too. And My Government Means to Kill Me by Rashid Newson. Yeah, I do really want to read this one, actually. I've read about 100 pages in these sprints, and I'm still loving it. Yay! You're the Abby Jimenez, right? I feel like that's a good one to be reading. I mean, I haven't read it, but I just hear it's very readable. I read another 35-ish pages. Nice. I made some progress, but I'm taking a lot of notes, so that slows me down. But that's the sign of a good book, though, so that's good. Read nothing, but I had dinner and watched some BookTube. Nice. Yeah, I have a couple of BookTube videos that I like have a little playlist, like private playlist on my channel where I just like save all the BookTube videos that I want to watch, because I feel like when I want to watch BookTube videos, I don't want to watch any other kind of video. So I just like to let that like play through the list. It's so nice, actually. Oh, I've almost finished The Woman in Cabin 10. I have 80 pages left. How are you feeling about it, Maria? That's actually one of my favorite Ruth Ware books. And I know that this year she's got The Woman in Suite 11, I think it's called, coming out, which is like a sequel to it. It's the same person. I think her name was like Laura, something like that. But yeah, that one, and what's the one that's up on the mountain? One by One are my favorites from her. Yes. Okay. Very fun romance. Good. Okay. Love it so far. So here's hoping it keeps up. It did make me really want to like take a nap though, because she was so tired like that whole book. I feel like there's some books that are like that. Also, The Sleeping Car Porter. That one I wanted to take a nap like the whole time because he's so tired during the book. I feel like that always happens whenever I read a book where there's a tired protagonist like literally the whole time. Okay, it sounds like a lot of people made some good progress. I'm happy to have made the progress that I did in the video that I'm editing, because I've been working on it for like a long time. And I was cracking up because I happened to mention Bury Our Bones. No, the Ashley Winstead one. This Book Will Bury Me in that video, but I accidentally said Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. And then I talked about literally the same thing I just talked about on here, that it feels like it's Ashley Winstead's two last books, the titles combined to make the V.E. Schwab book title for this year. I made that same comparison in this video. I thought that was funny because I thought that when I said it here, it was the first time I had said it, but apparently not. To be fair, I filmed that video in like February, I think. It was a long time ago. I'm only now getting around to finishing editing it. It's a 5-star predictions video though. It's my first one that I've ever done. I've never made a 5-star predictions video. And luckily I haven't read any of the books that were actually actively a part of the predictions. yet, which is good. Otherwise, that video would be very outdated. But I did mention, because I stuck to only books that are on my TBR, but I did mention 2 releases that are coming out this year as like if I was mentioning new releases. The camera's shaking because Zuko's scratching his ear and like the whole desk is like, but what was I saying? Oh, but I mentioned This Book Will Bury Me, which is funny because that was a 5-star read. So, okay, bye. I need to take a nap because I'm reading nonfiction about sleep. Oh no, I have not slept well. Oh. Yeah, nonfiction about sleep sounds like it would also make me sleepy. Going to jump on Charlie Brooks' reading sprint for joy reading next to keep on reading. Nice. Oh, I might jump in there too and continue editing, at least for a bit. I also have a puzzle that I want to work on, so I'll probably do that too. Basically, as soon as Curtis is ready to watch something out in the living room, we'll probably do that. The sleeping car porter is very interesting. I went back and forth like the whole time about how I felt about that book, but I think at the end it was like maybe a 3.5 star. I have a reading blog that I started about a year ago. It was reading the 5 highest rated books on my TBR, but I've only read 3 of them so far. I have one that I'm planning on reading the 5 lowest rated books on my TBR because it's one of the squares in Here Kid. But I'm nervous about it. I don't like going into a book knowing that it's low rated, which is why I've never made one of those videos in the past. It's fascinating, but I've been awake since 3 a.m. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, take a nap. Please take a nap. You need it. You need it and you deserve it. Okay, but that is going to do it for today. Thank you everybody for joining. I just did a try chapter for the lowest 10 and unhauled some. Makes it easier for that challenge. Yeah, that's a good idea. I want to do some unhauls, but I've got ones marked that I just think I won't vibe with anyway. But I'm looking forward to reading that video of yours. Oh, and you've been up since 4? Jeez, you guys, you all need naps. But hopefully you're able to do that. For everybody else, I hope you continue to have a good time reading and everything. Have a good rest of your day. And no live stream next weekend. I will be out of town, but maybe the following weekend. We'll see. Bye, everyone.